Hi, and welcome back to Science with Miss Wardell. Today I am on page 452. We're going to go all the way to 457. We're going to talk about big changes, including fire, water, and mud. So, a little bit of fire, water, or dirt can be very useful. But what if there's too much? Sometimes too much is not always a good thing. Um, this is interesting because I used to live in parts of Middle Tennessee, so I immediately noticed it was Nashville because I recognized the AT&T Tower right here, what we call the Batman Tower. This is parts of downtown Nashville when it flooded so bad. A forest fire starts small. It can be sparked by lightning, a bit of lava, or a careless person. People have to act quickly to control forest fires. Fires affect not only communities but also the plants and animals in the area. We know a lot about that. We've had fires here ourselves. And it takes a long time to recover, but it can get really out of hand. Too much rain in too short a period of time can cause a flood. A flood is a change that happens when streams, rivers, or lakes get too full and overflown. Here I'm going to underline that. Too full and overflown. Right? Entire towns can be destroyed, and many plants die, and animals may have to find new homes. Over time, floodwater drains away, dries up, or is absorbed into the ground. So, as you read, underline the main idea about each big change and circle details that tell more about each idea. Okay, so I'm going to do something different. I'm going to highlight it. So, in this first one, it talks about a big change as a forest fire, right? A forest fire starts small. They start small. And then I'm going to underline it in a different color. For a big change, an idea or a detail is that it can be sparked by lightning or even a bit of lava or a careless person. I don't know if you can really see that as well. I'm going to take out my green, my darker green. Okay, there we go. So here's a detail saying that a forest fire can be started small. But how about in the next one? Well, it does talk a lot about the flood, but more importantly, it talks that too much rain in too short period of time can cause this flood. Too much rain in too short a period of time can cause this flood. And we know that an effect of it or a detail that can tell you more about it is that entire towns can be destroyed. Entire towns can be destroyed. Also, many plants and animals may die or lose their homes or have to find new homes, right? So these are all things that can happen when faced with this hardship. On page 453, here we see, looks like what a big mudslide would be. And sometimes water from rain or a flood loosens dirt on the side of a mountain or a hill. The dirt slides downhill in a mudslide or landslide. It may bury part of a town. So again, too much is not always the best case. When I am counting by fives, it says the Smith River overflows its banks after at least 30 centimeters of rainfall in a day. Rain is falling at 5 centimeters an hour. How long will you have to rain? Will it have to rain before the river flows? So it is falling 5 centimeters per hour. Okay? So I'm going to count by fives until I get to 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So, how many hours? This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hours. Another way that you could look at it is using tally marks. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You could also say 30, because here's a known number, divided by 5 equals what? What's that missing number there? Or I could say 5 times something equals 30. Again, what's that missing number? The missing number is 6, right? 6. All right, turn over to page 454. Here it talks about being prepared and planning ahead. How do you prepare for a disaster? How can you make an emergency plan and prepare for your home? You make sure any pets will be safe too. So there's lots of things that we can do. People can do many things to prepare for disasters. Buildings are designed to withstand earthquakes, and sides of rivers are built up to prevent floods. News reports to let us know about the risk of forest fires. Radio, television, and internet warn us about storms and other emergencies. Emergency plans can help make us safe. Families can talk about what to do in an emergency. A list like the one on the next page can help. So this is really interesting because this right here is what Mr. Wardell does. He helps to make emergency plans. He's in emergency management. It is best to be prepared for a disaster before it strikes, and keeping supplies in your car can help be ready. So here I noticed that they've got ponchos on, they've got sleeping bags, water, a first aid kit. Notice they have really good shoes on as well. Looks like they're pretty prepared. I see a flashlight. There's all sorts of things. Here's a emergency list. A first aid kit and medicine, food, clean water, protective clothing and bedding or sleeping bags, a radio, a flashlight, extra batteries, and an evacuation guide. This might be helpful in case a road is blocked. So, here's something that I would like for you to do. It says packing to prepare. Draw and label some supplies that you would pack for an emergency. Okay, so you do this. Tell me, because this is independent. I look forward. Maybe you and your family already have a list. Maybe there are some things that you can do. Can you use some of these things from up here? Yes, of course. You could draw food, first aid kit, water, a radio, flashlight. Maybe you think of something else. I might even include duct tape or a toolkit. You know, that's really good to keep in mind. A change of clothing. These are really good things to keep in mind. Maybe you have something that you specifically need, like I wear glasses or contacts, so that might be also on my emergency kit. Maybe not on yours, but definitely on mine. It's really, you've got to personalize it. Here on the next page, we're just kind of reading some more about some of these other disasters. Many natural hazards cannot be prevented, and some cannot even be exactly predicted. Scientists research new solutions to reduce the impact of natural hazards. Fires pose a threat to our nation's forests, and today forest scientists research the best ways to stop or reduce the impact of fires. Thinning and controlling burns are two ways. Thinning removes smaller trees and underbrush from forest. And during a controlled burn, a small section of the forest is set on fire to make forest healthier. So it's not always a bad thing. It can be a good thing. Here it says that landslides where dirt slides downhill are another hazard, and scientists work together with engineers, construction planners, and others to help reduce losses from landslides. This is what Mr. Wardell does. He helps to plan how to make these things less harmful. Losses can include destruction to the land and roads and the buildings around the area. These scientists and others conduct experiments to understand how and why landslides happen. They look at maps to see where a risk of a landslide may occur, and finally, they share information to stop landslides or limit the impact of a landslide. So there's lots of things that you can do. Here, we talk about earthquakes. Earthquakes occur when moments occur within the earth. Earthquakes can cause extreme shaking of the ground and can cause a lot of damage. Scientists study how waves of energy move through Earth to identify where an earthquake occurred. They also use this information to try and find out where the earthquake might happen, although it is very difficult to predict. Scientists and engineers work on ways to help buildings survive an earthquake. They also work on community leaders to help routes, to help people quickly and safely escape areas near water to avoid a huge wave that follows an earthquake. And scientists also study energy waves to look at volcanoes. Unlike earthquakes, volcanic eruptions are easier to predict. Because of this, people in a community can be warned, and so that there is time to escape the hazard caused by volcanic eruptions. So there is a way we can do this. Floods occur when a large amount of water overflows into the land, and many buildings are now constructed so that they will not be heavily damaged by floods. Engineers also work with communities to help build the land or conduct a wall along a body of water to help prevent an area from flooding. And research has shown that the importance of open space to help reduce the impact of flood. This is really important. A lot of things can be prevented even with natural disasters, and we have some smart people every day working to help make us safe. Main thing is that knowledge is power, and always having a plan is important. Bye guys, see you soon.